Hello everyone, welcome to our very special webinar. This month we're celebrating 10 years of Nozbe. That's right, our app is already 10 years old and there are users who have been with us the whole time since 2007. So we want to celebrate this special anniversary with you guys, and today Michael is going to share with you the story behind your favorite productivity app and tell you all about how it evolved from being just a personal tool for Michael to being an app used by thousands of people from all over the world every single day. My name is Natalia and I will be the panelist for today's webinar. Just like all of our previous webinars, this one will take about an hour and a half, and it will be divided into two parts. The first part will be Michael's presentation, which will take about an hour. And the second part will be a standard Q&A session where Michael and I will be chatting and answering the questions sent over from you guys during the webinar. You can submit your questions in the Q&A box that you can see at the top of your screens. And next to the Q&A box, there is also the chat box where you can chat or ask questions to other attendees of the webinar, as well as the panelists. And that's myself and Martin. Okay, so firstly, let's just check if everything is working properly. So if you could just head to the chat window for me, please, and tell us where you're joining us from today, where you're listening from. Let's just wait a second for everyone to join in. Okay, here we have the first person from Warsaw. Welcome. Dallas, Indiana, Amsterdam, Portugal, Los Angeles, Switzerland, Kenya even. Wow, welcome. Utah, Atlanta, Brazil, Warsaw, Orlando, Toronto. Wow, the cities are going too fast. I can't even read them. There are so many of you. USA, Gdańsk. So we've got some people from Poland too, even though we've just finished a webinar in Polish. So, okay. Welcome. Paris, South Carolina, Dominican Republic. Okay, that's great. So it seems that everything is working just fine. The chat is working and you can all hear me. So let me just welcome you again to our special webinar. We really appreciate the time that you're spending here with us today, and I hope you'll find the history of Nozbe and the evolution of our productivity really interesting and inspiring and fun. And hopefully it will inspire you to be even more productive and to pursue your own dreams and your careers. So we're going to see Michael in just a second. So let me just remind you that you can enter your questions during the webinar in the Q&A box at the top of your screens. And please remember to use the Q&A box instead of the chat box to enter your questions so that we can filter them afterwards and answer them in the Q&A session. And the chat box may, of course, be used to chat with us during the webinar. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's officially begin our anniversary webinar, and let's meet our instructor for today. Hi, Michael, can you hear me?
Hello there, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I just heard that there are people from all over the world right now for this webinar, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really great. And I think it's the first time that we actually have someone from Kenya, so that's really amazing.
Yeah, really, really cool. Like from the States, from Poland, from Kenya, from Dominican Republic, Brazil, like amazing, very cool.
Yeah.
So hello everyone, I'm really thrilled and happy that you're here celebrating with us our 10th anniversary.
Yeah, can you believe that it's already been 10 years?
No, I cannot. You know, my oldest daughter, she's 8, and so Nozbe is my oldest child. It's 10. So, you know, it's amazing. You know, I can't believe that the time flies so fast. So today we will talk about this, about how it all started, but also how it's, how Nozbe developed into what it is right now, and how our personal productivity developed with it. So I'm hoping this will be a very exciting journey for all of us, and also fruitful and inspiring. So let's see.
Well, I can't wait. So I'm just going to switch off my camera, and it's over to you, Michael. So good luck, and I'll see you at the Q&A session.
All right. See you on the other side. Okay, everyone. So you're here because you are celebrating with us 10th anniversary of Nozbe. Nozbe, the project and time management solution app that we all use and love. And wow, 10 years, a decade. Like really, it's not normal in the technology sector that a company can last that long. And with us, you will see from this webinar that it feels like we're just getting started. That we have endless ideas for the future, and we're excited about the future. And we are not putting we're not putting brakes on. Like we're gonna just accelerate. We're gonna just be better for you and for us. So let's start with a very nice slide that shows how our logo developed over the last 10 years. So as you can see, here's our logo from juvenile, childish smile to something more serious, more clean. So this is how our logo changed over the years. But it wasn't it wasn't only logo. It was the whole productivity field, industry, or I don't know, sector or interest developed over these 10 years very rapidly with the technology and with the social media, with everything else. So today, I want to show you this journey, but I also want to show you how this relates to you, and how you can find something fruitful here, something useful here for your own life. So Nozbe, in these 10 years, we started with the basics, with total basics, and we'll talk about these basics in a few moments. Then we turned to mobility, to being able to access information from anywhere. And then we continued with collaboration and teamwork, real teamwork, and also, of course, inspiration. Because as you know us, we are doing these webinars for you guys. We're doing them for free because we want to share our like everything we've learned so far. Also, we have the 10 steps to ultimate productivity course. We have the Proactive magazine, which we're going to last in the next week, the latest and the last issue of the Proactive magazine. So we are doing lots of things to help you, inspire you to get things done. But before I talk about all that, I want to start with something that inspired me on this journey, and somebody who did that. And this is Mr. David Allen. He wrote this book, Getting Things Done. This is his book, and it was way back in 2005 when I read the book, and I can't stress it enough how important he was in developing my productivity, because his book, his simple solutions, his simple advice proved that even a person like me, who's really not well organized, who's pretty chaotic, can get organized, can put ducks in a row, can put things in order, and can really be productive and achieve great things. And it all started with him, with reading the book. I really liked it, and what I did was I started getting organized. And we'll talk about this right now. So I'll just stop the video so that you can focus on the presentation, and let's get on with it. So the basic idea is that when we want to get organized, what we do is we create a basic task list. So for example, here, just a basic task list, ask John, find a gift, arrange like this, and things like that we have to do. So we want to get organized. We take a piece of paper, we write these things down, or as here, we put them in Nozbe's inbox. Like very simple things, and we feel better already because we've put them down. We know what we are supposed to do, and we feel better. We feel more organized. We feel that these things are here, they're written down. Great. And this is how I started. When I read the book Getting Things Done, I decided to first use Microsoft Outlook because it had a to-do feature. So I started using to-do features in Microsoft Outlook, and it worked pretty okay for the first few days. But then I realized things are not really as easy as they seem. When you look at this list, there is, for example, this task, remember to talk to Tom. Yeah, to talk to Tom about what? All right, we have to talk to Tom about my website, right? Yeah, but my website, I mean, my website is a whole thing, whole new beast. I mean, I have to just, develop the website. I have to find things for the website, write the first, it's always more complicated. So this is the second part. It's when you start grouping tasks into projects. You realize that your task list cannot be so flat because things belong to different different stories, different groups, to different goals. And the goal for me here is to create a new website, and I have to talk to Tom about my new site specs, but I also have to find WordPress theme, draft first blog post, shoot some photos for the blog post, ask for testimonials, like all these things that I have to do for this website, to create this website, to make it happen. So it's not that easy. And when you realize that, you start going through your checklist, through your to-do list, through your task list, and you realize there are more projects. So there are more tasks that seem as tasks at first, but they require more complicated steps to get done. So this is the second part. You realize you need more projects, you need more lists, and when you do that, you become you start creating these lists, you start creating these projects. And at some point, there are just so many of them. I mean, you realize that there are many projects, there are many tasks, and like what to focus on now? I mean, where to start? And this is like the third thing. The third thing was this question that also is very important in getting things done book. What's your next action? So what's your next physical action, next physical step that will bring you closer to your destination, bring you closer to your goal, help you move this thing forward. And for me, when I was designing Nozbe way back in 2005, after I read the book by David Allen, was this thing of starring a task, so putting a star to a task. So for me, this was the idea of like to fish out the most important tasks and put them in the next action list, in the priority list. And this is what I did. I started, when I started developing Nozbe, I thought about this, that I have all these projects, I have all these tasks. Now, how to make them stand out? And I remember when I was trying to not to build Nozbe. I was trying actually to find a tool that will help me get things done. But at that time, there was nothing like this on the internet, and I needed something really simple way to prioritize. No, just really complicated, settings, some things like that. I needed a simple way to prioritize, to fish out my priority tasks, my next actions. So this is what I did. I added a star. And this is how Nozbe, happened when in 2007 when I launched it, and to this day we use this star to your priority tasks, your next actions. So okay, so you got yourself organized. You have your task list, you have your project list, and you have tasks in there, and then you have your priority tasks, your next actions, beautifully here on your list. So what's next? There is the fourth component, which is how or where to do it. And this, it's called categories in Nozbe. It's called contexts in getting things done. The idea that you can use some tools or some environment to be more productive. So for example, phone call. It's the best example ever, because it's when you have your lunch in the middle of the day, you feel like you don't have that much power anymore to plow through the tasks, but you have to make a few phone calls. So what you pick up your phone and you start, calling this person and then the other one. So suddenly you feel more productive because you've just, you've placed some phone calls and you just pushed some things forward and you moved some projects forward. So this is the fourth component, the tool that you need or the place that you're going to do it. So context, category. This was the fourth piece of the puzzle. And so basically, when I started Nozbe, it all started with these questions, with these basic questions. What do I need to do? So what tasks? So I need tasks. So which tasks should I need? So this is what I need to do. And then, does it belong to a bigger story or a bigger goal? A project. So should I create projects? Which projects? How many projects? And then what's my next action? So priority, focus on getting things done. Nozbe was always about getting things done. And then where or how to do it. So category. And these four questions, they were the basic, I mean, the basis for me to create Nozbe. This is how Nozbe was born. And it was born in 2005 as a very simple tool just for myself. And then later in 2005, 2006, I started, working on it as a hobby on the side, also playing with the new technology, with the Web 2.0 technology back then. And suddenly in 2006, I realized I was onto something, because not only I did like working on this tool, but this tool helped me become a better consultant, because I was a consultant for to help other companies sell their stuff on the internet, and it helped me become better. It helped me become more organized, and this is how I decided. If it works for me, maybe I'm not that special. I mean, I think we are more special than we think, but also we are less special than we think, and in some categories. And I thought, if I like it and it works for me, maybe there are other Michaels in the world who would like it. And this is how Nozbe started in 2007. And 10 years later, we have more than 400,000 users, and people love the way this works. So this is how it looked like Nozbe in 2007. As you can see, very beautiful design, fantastic, cutting edge. Okay, I'm just messing with you here. So yeah, it wasn't really pretty, but as you can see, the structure is here. Next actions, projects, context. This is, I mean, the pillars of productivity are here. These were not all the features of getting things done system, or any other system for that matter. They were just the three things that made everything for me, that made sense for me, that made sense, and then helped me move things forward, get things done, push things forward. So so in 2007, I launched Nozbe, got some feedback, got some users, then later very quickly got some press. It was very great, it was very nice, but still it was my side project. And for the whole 2007, I would work until 4 p.m. for my customers, for my clients, from my consultant work, and then after 4 p.m. I would work on Nozbe. I had more time then because I didn't have children, and my wife would work in a law firm, so she also would work a lot. But in 2008, I realized I was onto something. I had many more users. Nozbe was voted one of the best apps for 2007. So I decided to pursue my passion and just go with Nozbe full time. And I did a presentation on one of the gatherings of tech nerds, and I basically ripped the slide from I love New York to I love Nozbe, because this is when I realized that Nozbe is my calling. It's something that I love doing. It serves people, makes them feel better, makes them work better, makes them better organized, and also for me, it just makes me a better person. So in 2008, I decided to work on Nozbe full time. In 2009, we did a major redesign, which was fantastic. For that, it was really very modern, very fast, using again the latest technologies, web technologies. It was really great. You see projects on one side, context on the other. It was really fantastic for 2009. But then, over some iterations, we have this. 10 years later, we have Nozbe on all the platforms, for the Mac, for the Windows, Linux, for the web, iPhone, iPad, Android, tablets, phones, and of course also the Apple Watch. So we are using the latest technologies to help you get things done on any device. So this is, so we are coming to this point in this presentation where I will explain to you that after having the basics done right, we want more. We want more control. We want our system to be with us all the time. So in 2007, as you remember, coming back to 2007, it was the year of the iPhone. It was the year the iPhone launched. And it was really cool because the iPhone was this revolutionary device. I thought when I was building Nozbe in 2007 for the web, for the desktop web, I was going mainstream. But as you know, iPhone changed the whole thing. It changed. iPhone was the first pocket computer that we really used. And I remember in June 2007, when the iPhone launched, my users and customers were asking me, Michael, so when is Nozbe for the iPhone going to launch? Because back then you could do web apps for the iPhone. And honestly, I had no clue about the iPhone. I mean, I knew about it, but I was, in Europe, and it was on US only, so I couldn't actually touch an iPhone. I didn't have one. But luckily, thanks to amazing users, thanks to things on the internet like simulators, things like that, special libraries, I managed to, I think a week or two with rate. After a week, we had a beta version, and after 2 weeks, it was launched completely, the iNozbe web app, and it was the first mobile version of Nozbe that really puts Nozbe in your pocket. And this was the second part of productivity, which I realized then, is that it's great that we have our system, it's great that we have our tasks, our projects, but if we don't have access to them from anywhere at any time, they are useless, because we want to have our command center with us at all times. So we built the Nozbe web app, the iNozbe. I asked my customers for feedback. They said, they loved it, but I haven't seen it in a while on an iPhone. So I saw it 3 months later when I went to San Francisco on to promote Nozbe on a Office 2.0 conference. I was invited as a speaker on productivity, and I presented Nozbe there. So it was fantastic to first get the iPhone and use iNozbe on the iPhone. It was the first time for me, and it was great to see that in action. So amazing, amazing story how you can build something without seeing it, yeah, thanks to my customers. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I love working on this thing. It's after 10 years, it's just, you have this this connection with customers, with users, that you can really do things together, like have these synergies. So that was the iPhone. And then in 2010, we also launched Nozbe for the iPad and also Nozbe for the iPhone, the native version. And it was another amazing experience, because we really needed the Nozbe for the iPad. It was the newest device, the hottest device, and it proved again the point that we need access to our information from anywhere. And the iPads, I still have the iPad version 1 in my household. We have one of these, and it still works. And yeah, it was another breakthrough. It helped us also get some foothold in the Japanese market, because Japanese people were buying iPads like crazy. So they really loved this portability of the iPad. And then later, we realized we needed something for Android. So we launched an Android version of Nozbe. As you can see, the design was just stunning, right? But it worked. It worked. It was great for people to be able to access the information on the go. And then the desktop was great again. Desktop was again important, and there was the Mac App Store. So we launched Nozbe for the Mac, then later for Windows, and now then also for Linux. So we have apps, like native apps, for all these platforms. And 10 years later, again, we have the whole suite of apps. So we're coming back to this notion that people need more than just be able to put their tasks and projects in order. They need to be able to access their productivity system from anywhere. And this is why over these years, by studying, looking at the technology, we learned that we need to put your tasks, your projects, your priorities in your hands, also on your wrists. I'm still using, I have access to all my priority tasks on my Apple Watch. So again, a great situation here, that I can respond to tasks, see delegated tasks, and see my priority tasks on my wrist. I use it every day, so it really works. So as you can see, we covered the basics of productivity, and of course the devices, like how important the environment of devices is to people's productivity, and how it changed over the years. When I launched Nozbe, there was no iPhone, no iPad, no Apple Watch. Now, it's no Android. Like it's been amazing 10 years. But devices and the basics are not everything. There is more, and I will talk to you about what's next in a few seconds. I would like to just remind you that we are running right now a great promo. Is the only time we are doing this kind of crazy offer, that we give when you extend Nozbe for a year, which already saves you 2 months of Nozbe. You get 3 additional months, but you get more if you've been using Nozbe more than 3 years. So for every year above 3 years, you get additional month for free. And we have users from 2007, so they will get 10 months of Nozbe if they extend with this offer. So If not, if you're new to Nozbe, you will still get 3 months plus the 2 months that's already included in the yearly subscription. So make sure to check it out. It's rare that we do such an offer, so I really just go to nozbe.com/now and take advantage of it, because it really it's something special that we do, and it's gonna expire on Friday, so it's really a time limited offer. So make sure to check it out. And if you order now during the webinar, you will get this additional bonus, the book, the top 10 team and personal productivity tips, a book from the Proactive magazine staff. We've been running Proactive magazine for the last 9 years. We're going to launch the last Proactive magazine next week. And we've gathered the best articles and put them together for you as a great ebook. So just to inspire you again. So make sure to check it out. Go to nozbe.com/now, get your Nozbe offer, and then you will get the ebook as well. All right, so let's get back to our productivity. And as I mentioned, you got the basics. So I have my tasks and my projects. So you have your basics, you have your next actions, you have your categories. You're good, right? Yeah. But then you have the second thing. You can access them from anywhere, right? I mean, you have your mobile phone, you have your smartphone, you have your tablet, your Mac, your Windows PC, whatever. You can access your things from anywhere, and that's great. So when you have the basics and you can access it from anywhere, is this enough? It should be, but we are not alone. So the question you should be asking right now, do I really have to do it all that alone? Do I really have to do all that alone? Do I really have to? Am I alone here? And of course, the answer is no, you're not alone. You should not be doing everything on your own. It's like when I started Nozbe, I was the one-man shop. I was doing marketing, I was doing coding, I was doing customer support, everything. But now I don't do it anymore. I mean, I do some of these things, but not everything, because I have people who work with me. And in your life, you have your colleagues, your friends, family. You have people who you can work with. In the house, you can do things together. You don't have to do clean up everything alone on your own, right? So this is another chapter that we opened in Nozbe when we realized that having this tool, this personal productivity tool, is great, but we should strive for more. We should be able to share our information, and this is how project sharing came to be. So we started sharing projects. So if in Nozbe right now, in the newest version of Nozbe, if you just go to I in the right top corner, you have the whole information about the project, and you can then invite people to share the project with you. This way, these people will see the same project as you do. So they will be able to see this project. This way, you can share information. You can share what you're working on. You can share what's up in your life, and you can do it very quickly, very easily in Nozbe. So that's the first step. You can share your information. You can share things you're working on. That's great. But sharing and seeing is great, but you want these people to help you, right? So then comes the second part. Start delegating tasks, which means giving responsibility to other people. It's like in this project here, I can just delegate something to Peter and ask him to shoot some photos for the blog post instead of me. I can delegate something to David to find the WordPress theme that would suit me perfectly. So I can not only share my projects, share what I'm working on, I can also perfectly delegate this to other people. This way I can give them next actions, give them things to work on. And in this way, we can do great things together. So we can really work cooperatively. We can work together as a team. I can get some help. And this is really important, because right now in this world, there are so many things to do. And there are so many experts, so many freelancers, so many people who can really lend you a helping hand. Then really trying to do everything on your own is not a good idea. But then, of course, this is great. I mean, we have tasks, we have shared projects, we can delegate tasks to other people. And in Nozbe, you can see that when you delegate a task to someone, you can see their avatar instead of a tick. So you cannot tick the task directly. This is because we want to make sure that when you just enter the project, you can see who's responsible for what. So the accountability is there. You can see who's responsible for what. It's very clear. And this is the idea that whoever enters the project, they can clearly see what's up, who's doing what, who's responsible for what, what's going on. And this was like our key designing these features. But of course, having tasks, delegating tasks is great, but tasks are very often nuanced. There is some more information that needs to be added there. And that's why we added comments. So you can comment on a task and just give more information of what you really want, and the people can comment back to you. And this way, when they comment back to you, you can have a conversation about this task, which is far more useful than having a conversation like in Slack, where you just chat about things, and the conversations are not related very often. Here, each conversation in the comment section in each task is related to this particular task. So they are really like goal centered, so that you try to get things done together. You try to iron out the details, iron things out to make sure that you know what you want, and they know what you want, and you can really make sure you get the details right. And in Nozbe right now, we improved this comment section in the latest versions of Nozbe, that when you open a task and you write a comment and somebody else enters and they write a comment and you have still this task open, it will refresh automatically. So it's almost like chatting inside the task. So it's really very useful, and really brings back this way of back and forth, so that you can really focus on getting the task done. Again, in Nozbe, we're all about doing things, not just managing them. But then, we introduced comments, and this is great. Perfect. Comments help really, iron things out. But people use different tools. We are not, our ego is not that great that we believe that everybody should be using only Nozbe for everything, because there are really great tools like Evernote for notes, like Dropbox for storing files. So people use different tools. That's why we introduced different kinds of comments. In Nozbe, you can use checklists, attachments, Dropbox, Evernote box, and Google Drive. So many different other systems which you can easily attach to your comments. For example, I use Evernote a lot, and we introduced our Evernote integration with Nozbe back in 2009. Back in 2009, we were very well connected with Evernote. We really liked what they did. I still like what they do, and I still use their app a lot. So what happened is that back then we already realized that we need to work with these guys, and now we still do. And for me, it's really important that I have my notes in Evernote, so I can access my notes quickly in Evernote, but I can still attach them easily through this connection and put them in comments. So very often when my colleagues, they need some more information from me, I just attach a note that I have prepared. I just attach it here. They see what's up. They see what's to be done, and it works perfectly. Also, we have the checklist, which is really cool and really useful when you want like subtasks kind of thing. So when there is a task that it's still a task, it's not a project, but it's bigger, and you need a few steps, or you want to iron out the few steps that you need to get it done. So what you do is you add a checklist, and it's really useful. I've been using recently a checklist for my morning routine. So I have a recurring task every day, morning routine, and I have a checklist of things to do in the morning. I don't use it that much anymore because now it's already ingrained in my habits. But the first 2-3 weeks, it was very useful to have the checklist and follow the checklist day by day. So there is another thing. Now through the checklist, through the attachments, through all these tools, you can really effectively work with other people. You can really connect with them, have the feedback loops about the tasks, and really get things done together. So when this happened in Nozbe, when we introduced all these features, we realized there is even more to be done. And people said, I want my team in here. I don't want to just be inviting people to each project. It's cumbersome. I want to have them quickly. I want to be able to invite them very quickly to my projects and share a project with them and really get things done together. And this is why we decided to introduce the team section, where you can invite other people to Nozbe. The first person is for free. So if you have a personal pro account, it can be you, and for example, you can have your spouse or your partner for free. You can set them up an account with you. This way, you're still paying the same amount of money, and you have more people on your team. But some businesses said, Michael, we want to use it in our business, and we want to have a team admin. So somebody who will be managing the team and who won't be the CEO. And then we want to have more, more features when it comes to sharing the projects. We want to be able to have more admins in the projects, more guests in the project, so like more and more reports. So we decided, we're gonna give that because we want people to use Nozbe to really to do one thing: to stop using email for collaboration, because we think email is bad for collaboration. Email is great for sending electronic email messages, newsletters, things like that, initial contact, things like that. Email is fantastic for that, but not to collaborate, not to manage ongoing projects, because something gets lost. Then your information, your crucial project information, is among a newsletter from somewhere, or like a receipt or something else. Like it all, it's a mess. And you haven't copied somebody on some email, or BCC or CC or whatever, and people don't have access to all this information. So it's better to share projects with Nozbe, to have your team over, have shared projects, and then you can see the accountability. You can see who's responsible for what. You can attach anything you want to tasks to make sure that the information is there firsthand and helps you and your team get things done. So this is our mission: to help people stop using email for collaboration. We don't use email in our company at all. We communicate only through Nozbe, and sometimes through Slack as a chat means, but usually everything that's actionable ends up in Nozbe. And thanks to this response from many customers, we decided to introduce Nozbe for Business last year. 1 year ago, we introduced Nozbe for Business. We've been having lots of cool customers for Nozbe for Business. The change between Pro and Business, the difference is that in Nozbe for Business, you start at 10 members. It's a little bit more expensive, but what you get is we help you out introducing Nozbe to your team. We give you better support. We give you better care of your team. Try to help you as much as we can. There is an option to talk to me directly, and of course you have team admins. You have more project admins, more project guests. If you're, for example, a freelancer, you have better reports. So there are a few key features, and especially we are trying to help you introduce Nozbe, this new concept of managing projects with a tool and not with email to your team. And we've had great success with a few companies. So, for example, ad agencies are using Nozbe right now. Fitness clubs and personal trainers, for example. Personal trainers are right now, creating projects in Nozbe as workout planning, and then they share these projects with their customers. So it's fantastic. They use Nozbe this way, and people have access to this information on their mobile devices, so they don't have to use SMS or messaging. And catering businesses use Nozbe because it's a complicated business. There are things to take care of, and Nozbe fits perfectly here. Law firms. This is also a new thing for us. Law firms are using Nozbe because we have great security. As you know, we really take care of your security here. This is paramount. This is why we are in business 10 years. We really make sure that the data is safe. And what's more important, and especially for the law firms, if you upload a file to Nozbe as a comment to a task or to a project, what happens is that this file gets encrypted, and the encryption key is a different server, and the encrypted file is a different server. So even if somebody could get access to the servers with the files, they wouldn't be able to read them because they're encrypted. This way, law firms know that if they have a contract there in Nozbe, it's safe. Only people who are in this project can see this contract. Nobody else, not even Nozbe workers, if they are Nozbe employees, if they need to. So only they can see it. So they're really safe, and they can work there. So it's a new thing for us as well. And churches, which is great in the US. In the US, I have to admit, churches are very well organized. It's fantastic. I've heard from pastors, from people working in churches, how they use Nozbe and how they are well organized. I'm really surprised how this works fantastically for them. But I'm surprised in a way that I didn't know that churches could be so well organized, like really great non-profit companies. Fantastic. And governments. This is also amazing for us that some governments, local governments and bigger governments, like parts of governments, are using Nozbe to get organized. And we just had a few new licenses of Nozbe for Business bought by a bigger government. yeah, so we are responsible for some of the governments right now. I mean, not we, but our tool is. So hopefully these governments will be the most effective ones that you see. So if you have any questions about Nozbe for Business, let us know. But this is something, we're thrilled about, and this is something we want to focus on as well, to really, because the cool thing is that when you are productive, when you are organized, it's great. But if your whole environment can be organized, if people can speak the same productivity language as you do, next actions, priority list, projects, delegating tasks, it's a whole different ball game, because things just get better with that. We know, because in Nozbe everybody uses Nozbe to run Nozbe, and we know how well it runs. But now we have all these great companies who use Nozbe as well, and they are really successful with that. So as you can see, Nozbe grew just like your productivity did. In these last 10 years, we got the basics right: the tasks, projects, next actions, categories. So we started with there. And then mobility, we were one of the first to discover the iPhone and the power of the iPhone. And now we've leveraged this to a whole new level with all the apps that we offer. Then collaboration, we know that you're not alone. We want to help you share your projects, create tasks for other people, make sure that your productivity system is safe and that you can have support from other people. And also collaboration is very good for to support each other in your productivity journey, because when you want to get organized, you might skip a weekly review or something, things like that. So when you have somebody on your side to share a project with, you can push each other to be more productive, to be more structured, to help everything more in order. And teamwork. So how to get businesses more organized, how to make businesses really click, really work. And again, not using emails for collaboration, using emails for everything else, but not for collaboration. So this is really important. And of course, in Nozbe we give productivity guarantee that we try to help you as much as we can. And even if that, and then you're not happy, we'll give you money back. But our idea is to really help you, achieve more and achieve great success. And as you can see from this photo, our team is growing. It's been growing quite well in the last years, and it's growing this year. So yeah, good things ahead of us also, team-wise, and of course, good prospects for you, because we have really fantastic things in the pipeline for this year and for the years to come. Again, we are just getting started in this. I mean, 10 years in, there's still so much to be done. And here, I've always already introduced Michael Hyatt to you if you've been, in past webinar visitor. Michael Hyatt, a great guy, great friend. He's been using Nozbe from 2007, and he's a great example of somebody who signed up for Nozbe, way back. He's been using Nozbe, back and forth a little bit in the first years, but then he committed to start using Nozbe a lot. It helped him grow his business, and now he's using it within his business. So, a great example of how somebody can stick with us for 10 years and be with us all this time, and now be a better advocate than ever. So, so this is really fantastic, and it's humbling that it happens. So remember, we got this new offer right now, this special offer only until Friday. So make sure to check it out. Go to nozbe.com/now and celebrate our anniversary with us. And if you go and extend now, you will get this additional ebook, which will ship to you just right after the webinar. So make sure to check it out. This offer is good only until Friday, but the offer with the ebook is good only until the end of this webinar. So make sure to check it out. We'll be doing more stuff. I mean, next Productive Magazine is going to be launched next week, so there will be more productivity tips. But this ebook is like a compilation of the best articles throughout these 9 years. So make sure to get it. And if you need help with Nozbe Pro or business, ask support. Send email to questions@nozbe.com, or just order Nozbe Business. We'll help you out. And if it's not what you've been looking for, we'll help you out. Changing to Pro or doing something else. So make sure to check it out. This is something we're truly passionate about. We think every business should be run with a tool like Nozbe, that without email, collaboratively. When the structure is there, the accountability is there. People know what they should be working on. So really, I think this is the way to go. Not only our personal productivity, but our team productivity is really, really important. So with that, I'm ending my presentation for now. I think I just made in time, and I'll be happy, more than happy, to ask you to get your questions. I mean, so many people here online from all over the world. Please, shoot some questions. This is my favorite part of the webinar. I'll be happy to answer them.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for the presentation. We've got some pretty nice questions from our listeners, but if you guys have any more questions, then don't hesitate. You can still enter them in the Q&A box, and we'll try to answer them all. And let's just start with a question by Michelle, which is related to what you were just saying about Nozbe Pro and Nozbe Business. Michelle says, I purchased Nozbe for our business, my husband and my business, but have never used it for business because I'm hesitant and don't know how my personal Nozbe will be affected, or if I still have privacy with my own Nozbe. I just have so many questions about how it works in terms of autonomy and privacy, in addition to collaborative features. So what would be your advice for Michelle?
Well, thanks for choosing Nozbe for business. So that's really great. So I didn't mention that in the presentation. I should have. Every project that you create in Nozbe is first and foremost private. It's just yours. So nobody else can see it. Can see the content of the project. Only you have to explicitly invite somebody. In Nozbe for business, it's really easy because once you get your team together, so you put people in your team, you just click share, invite, and then you choose the person who you want to invite to, click done. They get the invitation, they get it in app, so they can quickly accept the invitation and use the project. But you have to explicitly invite them to. We have these two. When you see the project list, we have these two different icons. If there's just a dot, it's your private project. If it's a dot with a circle around it, it's a shared project. You can very easily distinguish it on your project list. So it doesn't matter if you have Nozbe Pro or business. What happens is that you have more privileges when you share. So you have more power to share, but still you have to share. Unless you don't share your projects, they won't be visible to anyone else, even if you have them on the team. So because Nozbe grew as a personal tool, as a private tool, we decided to have the projects really like private first, and now you have to explicitly invite other people to get your project. So don't worry about that. When you create a project, you can make sure that they don't see it, because you can even ask them if they see any project like that, but they won't until you invite them to. So then it's that easy, right, Natalia?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works, and we use Nozbe in our Nozbe team for our work as well as our private stuff, our private projects, and no one else can access our each of our private projects. So you don't need to worry about anything like that. Inviting a person to your team doesn't mean that they get access to all of your projects or all of your data. That's not the case here. So you can just invite your employees or your colleagues, and nobody's gonna see anything unless you share it with them.
So for example, Natalia is also my assistant. She's also our customer support rep, but she's also my assistant. So for example, we have a project called CEO, and we share it with Natalia and with Magda, my other assistant. So only just three of us can see this project. And this is where we communicate. This is where we get things done together. This is why we don't use email anymore, because we communicate through tasks in this project. But Natalia cannot see my private projects. She cannot see my my other company projects where she's not a part of it, because she also works in our marketing department. She is a part of lots of my projects, but not every project. So her project list is totally different than my project list. She also is part of some different projects in customer support and in some other areas. Plus, she has projects on her own, and I have no clue which these are, and I really don't care because it's her Nozbe account. But thanks to the project that we share together, we work collaboratively, and this is the part. But then we have, everyone has each one to its own. We have our own projects as well, and in this way, we know that our data is protected. And even though I'm the owner of Nozbe, I don't have access to Nataya's projects, and I don't want to. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And like within our company, we have a few different teams, and each team has their own like set of projects that they're part of. But other team members, like for example, there are many projects in Nozbe about technical stuff and coding and programming. I don't have access to those because I wouldn't understand a thing, and I don't need it in my Nozbe. Like I don't need it to do my job. So that's really convenient if you think about it, to just have access to those that you need and not to everything, because then you kind of feel overwhelmed by all of the information that is coming up.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Daya, we are more than 20 people. So let's say, I think throughout Nozbe, we all like together would have more than 1,000 projects, like easily, I think. But like 1,000 different projects. But because we're 20 different people, 20 something different people, they overlap only at some points. So each of us sees, between 50 and 100 projects. That's all we see. We don't see the rest. And it's good because it would be noise. It would be lots of noise.
Exactly. And that would be actually counterproductive and not productive. So yeah. And okay, Michelle has just asked another question. Does the administrator have access to all people's Nozbe? So meaning, does the owner of the account have access to all of the other private projects of within the team? And the answer is no.
Okay, so this is really important. I mean, we are very committed to privacy. I mean, this is like something that we take really seriously, and not only privacy of our customers, but also within the teams and within the the organizations, because we have requests of customers who say, I want to see everything what my people are doing. I want to see it all, and we're like, no, you don't. It's the first thing, and second, if you want to, maybe you should choose a different tool, because we want to make sure that like people can use the tool any way they want. It's like, when you give somebody like perfect analogy would be when you give somebody a computer, it's a computer, it's a company computer, and you install some software there and they use it for work. But if you're like a normal person, you would also let them install like some of the personal things there if they want to like play some music on the computer in the afternoon, something like that. Of course, nothing illegal, but some personal stuff, right? So, so what happens is that you still own the computer. So if you want, you can take the computer back from the person, but they can access, then they can erase the personal data, and they can give you the computer back, and it's done. So this is the same way. You buy Nozbe account, by getting them on the team for them, because you pay for their Nozbe account. Like in the first one you don't, but then later you do. So you pay for the Nozbe account, but what they do there, it's between you and them, and you cannot see everything they do, and you shouldn't. We believe we shouldn't. We believe that they should be able to create their own personal projects, use Nozbe for their sake. When they do use Nozbe for personal reasons, for all these things, they will be better. They will be better users of Nozbe, so they will be more organized. When they will be more organized, they will be better and more efficient in the team projects, in the projects that you share together. So, so I think we think it's a good thing. We would want all the Nozbe users, like of a team, to also be using Nozbe in their private life, because this way, they use the tool better, they get the hang of it better, and they are more effective also at work. So we believe the admin can always close the account. So they can always say to close the account. But then again, if they close the account of this person can go to contact our support. And for example, if they had a private project and they wanted it back, they can ask us to do it, and we can retrieve that. So, but the thing is that the owner can create account, close account, and see the project that they are part of, but they cannot see everything. And this is what we believe in. Maybe it's depending who wants what, but we just think that also privacy of people who work within the company, there should be trust, and we like to be trusted, and we like our employees to be trusted. I prefer to trust Natalia, and not just be constantly monitoring what she's doing. I prefer to trust her that she's doing a great job, and she has my back, and this is how we roll. And we think also with this kind of design, we are trying to tell companies, you should trust your employees. When you give them this tool, they will be using it well for your sake and for their own sake. So make sure that they just use it, and you don't need to access everything that they do there, because they won't be doing anything illegal there. Just quite the contrary, they will be doing something really good.
Exactly. And if you see results, then I think that's the best way to evaluate if someone is doing a good job or not. So you don't need to see everything. And one thing that I also wanted to mention is that if you're the team owner, you can easily just delete the user from all the projects that you're sharing together. So like all your work related projects. If you remove them from your team, there's a button, a checkbox that you can just check, and the user will be removed from all your work-related shared projects. So that's
So we did that. So there is an option to like terminate somebody and still have their projects. Like for example, if they even if they were, for example, an admin of a project which was really important to your team, but they are no longer with the team, and when you remove them, then another person will become an admin of this shared project. So this way, the shared information, the company information stays within the company. So yes, so we have that. So what you cannot do is you cannot see all of their projects, but what you can do is you can remove them, as you said, and remove them from the shared projects. This way, you won't lose the projects that you're working on with other members just because this person left the company or had to leave the company.
Exactly, and you'll just make sure that they are no longer part of your work-related projects.
Yeah, but if you want to fire somebody, better have a good chat with them, and but situations are different. So we are also prepared for this kind of situation. But again, we are trying to foster trust.
Exactly. And if you have any questions about the team roles and everything in pro account and business accounts, don't hesitate. Just contact us at questions@nozbe.com, and we'll be happy to help you out and just chat with you. And you can write to us what your problem is, and we can find a solution, hopefully.
Yeah, all these concerns are really valid concerns, but write them down and let us know, because we'll be happy to guide you through them.
Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to another question by Ron, who asks, how do you manage projects? As I'm capturing all my ideas, I can easily end up overwhelmed with lots of projects.
This is true, and I have many projects as well, but there is a tool that you have to have in your arsenal, which is really important. It's really important, this tool. It's called weekly review. So when you have a weekly review, and especially we in Nozbe, we have this article on Nozbe blog that we have the TGIF. So the thank goodness it's Friday. So on Fridays we force nicely everyone to do a weekly review first, and then do whatever they want. So we really want to make sure that they review their stuff in Nozbe on Fridays. And when you do that, when there are some ideas, for example, that are ideas for the future, for later, that are no longer relevant, put them in a separate project, put them somewhere else. So it's like, for me, weekly review is this moment when, even if I created too many projects or too many tasks, I know that because I'm going to review them on Friday, I will be able to, put them to a normal number, and then just put things, in the right order. And I will be, and thanks to a weekly review, when I've reviewed my week, I have prepared the week, next week, what I'm going to do. I can see what's relevant and what's not. So things that are not relevant, I can put them on a back burner, put them somewhere else, or write them down in a special notebook or in Evernote, or just put them in a special project for other ideas, or create a label for this project, like label for projects, someday maybe, and then group all these projects, over there with this label. So there are many ways to do that, but you can only do that if you do a regular weekly review, because then you can really review all your projects. And with weekly review, I recommend going through each project. So they click project one by one, each project, to make sure that you have reviewed them all, because otherwise things get out of hand. And we added TGIF and the weekly review obligatory for our Nozbe employees, because I realized that we were not doing it properly, and we had some tasks, from last March, in our system, in our shared projects. They were like, "What is this? I mean, what is this, old task doing there?" So because nobody was reviewing them, nobody was really making sure that they're relevant. And now I must admit that thanks to the weekly review, thanks to the Friday, people are, we make sure that our Nozbe projects are current and they're updated.
Exactly, and it really helps to stay organized, even though it seems really hard at first to do a weekly review if you've got like 100 projects and like thousands of tasks, and it might take you a while to go through them one by one for the first time. But then after if you do it regularly, then you're just going to be fine, and you're going to know everything that you need to know. You're going to know all your deadlines and everything. So it's really worth doing it regularly, and just being on the same page with everyone in the company, or like with yourself. It's really important. And another way to manage projects would also be labels. This is just another way to organize your projects. So they work just the same as categories for tasks, but labels are for projects.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so let's move on to another question, which is very interesting. This is a question by Benjamin. I work with a lot of different people. Some just get Nozbe and pick it up, but some people don't. Has there been any plans to do user testing and offer different portal structure, view, or workflow for those users who think differently and don't get Nozbe at first? For example, engineers get it, but artists or marketing don't like the flow.
Interesting. I don't think we thought about it. I mean, just to the different different people, different ways of showing Nozbe or how Nozbe works. What we want to do more of this year is to give you more use cases or more ideas how things are done, and we got lots of them piled up. We are recording a new tutorial which will help many people structure their ideas. We're also working on some additional email workflow. So if somebody still wants to use email, they can use email with Nozbe, but so not, for example, if you have a customer and they would use email instead of just logging into Nozbe because they're hesitant to log to Nozbe. So we already have this, that when you share a project with somebody, you can send them a link and they will be able to open it without registering for a Nozbe account. So we got these things like that, but we haven't ever tried, with different industries, different layout of Nozbe. But it's something that we were thinking about. But yeah, we'll see. We have a few ideas, but nothing really just to tell you right now. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be just a matter of getting used to it. Some people just find it easy to get used to new things, while others need more time. And I think that may be the problem with your friends or your colleagues, Benjamin, that maybe just some of them find it really easy because they use a lot of different apps and tools and lots of technology and apps for smartphones and tablets and so on, while others are not so technical, let's say. So maybe that's the case here.
Yeah, some people are more tech savvy than others, and it's, but it's a question of you getting used to it, and also a question of habits. I mean, like one of the principles of getting things done of this when I started was just to write things down. It's a big habit to write everything down, and I've been tempted many times not to write something down or not to write something in my Nozbe inbox, and when I don't, I just hear it, just vanishing and just going away. So it's really important to be in this new mindset, and it takes time. As any good habit to form, it takes also time to use these tools, and that's why, for example, we have this Nozbe business plan that we want to be more involved in the business of somebody, to help them structure it, put it in order, ask them what kind of needs they have, to really make sure that they can get the hang of it. You want to work on a few projects first, involve people inside, and then when people see the benefits, when they see the transparency of the information, the accountability, then they will just move forward with the implementation, and they will use Nozbe for everything. But small baby steps sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And head over to our help page, which is really cool, I think, because we've got like almost all of the features of Nozbe are written down there with screenshots and everything. So I think that it's really helpful, and it's worth giving it a go and just reading through. There's a search engine at the top of the screen, so you can easily search for a thing that you're looking for. And yeah, that might also help. All right. Now I wanted to ask the question from Ruben. What is the way of using Nozbe with clients as a replacement of emails? And he gives the example of consultant and coach. So what would you say? How to use Nozbe instead of email?
I mean, this is great. I mean, this is a great example, because Nozbe comes in 3 flavors. So there is a free account, a pro account, and a business account. So the free account gives you 5 projects, which many people don't know. So 5 projects, completely for free, no time limit. So with many people, what I would do is, and what I mentioned in the presentation that a few personal trainers have been starting doing, is that they have a project for a particular customer, and in this project they just put them, the whole outline of their training regimen. I think what they should be, doing every day. They do the whole training planning, and then they share the project with this customer. So they can, and the customer can either access the project via a URL, so via a link, if they don't want to have a Nozbe account, or they can set up a free Nozbe account and use Nozbe. So be able to access this project and also create 4 additional projects for them, because they have 5 is the limit. They share already 1. They can access 4 more. So they can start using Nozbe on their own, but they can communicate through tasks in this shared project. And it's really good because I can give a great example of what I'm doing right now with Marcin here. Marcin here is in our webinar team, and Marcin is a triathlete, just like I am, but he's way better than me. So this year I have a plan of running faster. And Marcin created this Nozbe How template, Nozbe.how. It's a special way of creating templates. So any project templates that you save in Nozbe can be shared publicly. And he created a Nozbe How template, how to run a 10K beyond 45 minutes, which is my goal. And he did the whole outline, the whole training program based on a book that he read. And I just took the template, imported it into my Nozbe account, created a project for it, and invited Marcin there to be my accountability partner. So this way, right now when I'm doing training, he knows which trainings I did, which I didn't or skipped, and he can see all my excuses, which he will admit that they're rubbish. And also when I did something, I report to him and ask him for feedback. I delegate the task to him. I did that, and it went like this, and he gives me feedback back, so I know if I'm doing something right or not. So I think this is a great way, share a project with somebody, with a customer, with a client, and this way they can access the project from there. And again, this is safer. Everything is happening via encrypted connection, SSL. So when you send an email, it's totally unencrypted, so it's really not safe. I mean, people don't realize how unsafe email is. The only safe part of email is when you log into an email account, because right now all the email servers require encrypted login. But then the email information as such goes unencrypted to the internet. So anyone can intercept this, just for the record. But if you share a project with somebody and they upload file, you upload the file, everything is encrypted. The whole upload of the file is encrypted. The file is stored, as I mentioned, encrypted on our servers. So there is no way for the information to be compromised. So this additional, if just that, the security features of Nozbe, of working together with somebody, not just email, and having a dedicated collaboration with somebody away from email. This is the first argument. But the second argument, also customer safety. This way, when you upload new information, new drafts or whatever, you put them in Nozbe, they can access through Nozbe, and you are all encrypted. It all works encrypted way, and there is no way for the information to be compromised. So for me, this would be the best way. I mean, this is how I do things. When I want to do something with somebody, I invite them to a Nozbe project. I don't really care if they have Nozbe, because they can access the project via a link, which is encrypted anyway. But I encourage them to use Nozbe because I prefer to have it in Nozbe instead of managing their email when they send me an attachment and I have to upload it to Nozbe and things like that. So I think this is a great way to work with people. And in Nozbe, you can invite anyone with an email address to a project. So it's really easy.
Yeah, and they don't have to register just to get access to this project. So they can take their time and think about it, use the link to just access this one project. And if they decide that they like it, they can register afterwards. And also, I think it's just a great way to organize your conversation. Instead of just having one conversation in your Gmail account or whatever you're using for managing your emails, you have separate tasks. So you've got a task to, I don't know, calculate the costs or something like that, a task to upload documents or files or feedback and everything. And you've got everything well organized, so you don't have to search for it anymore in the email. Which message was that? Was it this one? Oh no, maybe it's in a different conversation. No, you've got it all in one project in separate tasks, so all is like really clear and really understandable. So I think it's really worth trying.
Yeah, I mean, just think about times, Natalia. I mean, Natalia is also managing my email inbox. So how many times a conversation just magically Gmail just breaks it down to a different conversation and you just don't know why. And then this information goes somewhere else and you're like, okay, where was it? Where was this thing? And this is crazy. So that's why you mustn't use email for collaboration. This is just wrong because, you want to see this transparency. You want to see this in a structured way, the way you structure it and not the way Gmail decides to structure it for you.
Exactly. And you don't have to scroll through all the quoted messages below and the archive and everything. So, it's really better than email.
Yep.
All right. Our time is nearly up, so we've just got time for a couple more questions. And here's a question from Carl. Will you be including a start date and end date in the near future? As now, I currently use the date as a start day with my team, but then I have to mention the due date in the task.
That's a cool workaround. No, we don't have it yet, but we're working on it. This is something we're working on. I'm not sure when it's coming, but yeah, we're working on this because many people have requested this. Especially the fact that when a date, when a due date, when a date is the day, it becomes your priority. So very often people, as you said, they put the start date first and then they mention the end date later, which is not really productive. So yeah, so it's a workaround. We're working on it. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but there's something we're working on.
Exactly. Okay, and maybe one more question. We already talked about it, but I think that we can just recap on that. So does Nozbe use folders, or do you prefer to have all projects visible. Projects do not use categories, so one would use categories to identify tasks that share goals across projects. So we already mentioned it briefly, and it's the short answer is labels, right?
Yeah, so in projects we use labels. So they're not categories, they're labels, and we use labels to group projects together because we prefer to have projects in one flat list if we want to. And if we want to just focus on a few projects, we just label them, and then just when you click on the label, you filter them out. So this is, for example, how I do it. Like I have a few projects which are related to my goals, and I have one goals label. So whenever when I'm doing weekly review, I start with goals first. So I go to my project list, I click on my labels, goals, and then I see only my goals. I go with them first, and then I click out, and I go through each other project. So so this is how we do it. Also, when you go to this, to information of a project, on the top right side, there you can also customize your project. So for example, you can add colors, which is pretty useful because then you have really colorful projects. And for example, all my goals projects I also have a different color. Then my marketing projects are a different color. I have a few projects which I really work on that have different colors. So this way I can really quickly fish them out and quickly see which projects I should be working on.
That's right. And also another way is just the search engine for projects. So if you go to the project section at the top of your project list, you've got a search engine where you can just type a few letters, like even 2 letters, and your project will come up.
Yeah, it's a quick way to filter out also the project that you need. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be wrapping up this special anniversary webinar. So thank you, Michael, again for the amazing presentation and for sharing the story behind Nozbe and the story of the evolution of the productivity in Nozbe. And thank you for answering all the questions. And thank you guys for joining us here today, for spending this time with us. I hope you found this webinar inspiring, and I hope you're going to join us in our future webinars. And Michael, would you like to say anything? Do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, so thank you so much for being around here and for celebrating this, this special occasion with us. 10 years of Nozbe. I'm really happy that we get to celebrate this, and then we get to celebrate a decade of productivity, a decade of our app, and I'm here's to more decades. I'm hoping that we will have them. So thank you so much. Again, we will be doing regular webinars this year. So not only when we have a special offer, which you still can get if you go to nozbe.com/now, but apart from that, we'll be doing regular webinars this year. So there will be more knowledge to share, more tips and tricks, use cases. So if you have any other questions, suggestions, let us know, because we are structuring this information as we go to learn from you as well. And success stories are also very welcome. I mean, this is how we also get this information. And if you can, check out our past webinar recording when we talked about New Year's resolutions and how to plan this year, because we're early in February, but and then there is still more than 10 months to do to get this to make this year your best year ever. So make sure to plan it well, to schedule your weekly review, and to also and to get your Nozbe account so that extended, so that you can really use all these tools at your disposal to really make this your best year ever. Because I think this is the best thing, that you can really be in control, get things done, and know what's really best for you, what's on your priority list, and just move things forward. So good luck to you, and again, thanks so much. I truly appreciate you coming here and spending time with us and celebrating 10 years with us. It's a privilege. It's a great thing, and it makes me really happy.
So thank you once again, and thank you, Michael, and see you on our future webinars. Take care, guys.